Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
Play, we don't come together, they score. So, look, things like that happen. We got to regroup quickly and get back at it.
Speaking of regrouping, how do you make sure morale doesn't slip and get ready for Sunday when you face the same team again?
No need to hang our heads. We played a really good game. We came up short, but we gave ourselves an opportunity to win the game, and that's important. This team is playing with momentum. They're playing free. You got to make plays down the stretch, and when we do, it was great. We missed a few wide open shots. Wish we can get those back, but give them credit. They took care of business.
JV had the first points of the game. How much of a difference do you think it makes when you get the bigs involved early?
I thought it was huge for us. JV set the tone, getting that first basket. And we had a great second half. And then, first half. And then our second half, we just had some slippage. But they've been playing well and playing with momentum, playing with confidence. And, you got to do a lot of things well down the stretch.
The guy gets the layup with about 125 left to put you guys at 5. I guess what kind of goes wrong from there that prevents you guys from closing out the game?
First game back. Slip out of bounds. I think I challenged after that, right? I made the challenge after that, and they overturned it. We gave up a play, not to get a 3. It kind of unraveled from there, and this is where we have to be just a bit better.
And just, for your team, just being able to close out in these situations, what do you think it's going to take for you guys to just be able to make the plays you need in these situations, especially, at the point in the season when you need everything you can get?
Keep putting yourself in that position. That's the key. Some games we come out and we're good and we do it. Tonight wasn't our night down the stretch, and we'll get back to practice and look at film and get on the floor and work and keep going from there.
How tough was this one, considering one of the things you kept up and talking about was getting the great starts.
Yeah.
And you get out to such a great one, and then things kind of go from there.
It was a tough one. Our guys, obviously, they fought their tails off. They played hard. They played well. Unfortunately, we came up short. It's a tough loss for us, for sure. Tough loss for all of us. But, you got to shake it off and get ready to go at it again.
What do you think just about the last 2 possessions for you guys? Do you think maybe that last one, particularly after the offensive rebound, might have been a little bit rushed, or you think that was a shot you guys wanted that situation, put in Bi's hands.
Put the ball in our best player's hands, and I think we're all okay with him getting that look.
Was there more of a, going back to JV, was there more of a concerted effort to get him touches?
It was.
Tonight?
It was JV.
Yeah.
It was. It was an effort on all of our parts to get the ball down to him and allow him to go to work. He did a great job tonight.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Post-Game Report. Much love to the flock. Appreciate each and every last one of you guys for being on this episode of the Pelican Post-Game Report. Entitled Pelicans Let Win Slip By 114-112, the West Conference Worst Rockets. Even though they were record-wise the worst team in the Western Conference, they played very good against the Pelicans. They stayed in the game. They stayed locked in, and they got the win. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in this one. I'm Big Q, the host. I got my co-host DC in the building. We're going to recap this thing and preview the upcoming matchup against the Rockets again on the road. Pelicans, this is a game in which the Pelicans should have won this game. Several opportunities. They let it go. And you just have to shake your head to another one. DC, welcome on in the building, brother. Thank you for joining us, man, on this one, bro. This was a one right here, DC. Kind of had me upset, man. I'm not going to tell you no different, bro. I was kind of hot and heated behind the loss right here with the Pelicans, bro. We couldn't get it. What you think?
Shit, I think what everybody else think. This is ridiculous. I mean, we watched the Pels play pretty much very good basketball for the most part for the first 3 quarters, and then get to the 4th quarter and we just decide we're not going to do that no more. Oh, let's play through JV. It's working so well. The 4th quarter comes, let's do something different. And we lost. And we should have lost. Because that was stupid. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm upset. Like you mentioned me, all I could think about was Jay Black saying we was going to split one with him. I'm not completely just hopeless on the season. Like I know some people giving them one more game. Well, really, they should go 3-1. Well, 3-0 with these next 3 games. So I'm pretty much to the point where, man, let's see what happens Sundays. It's deflating to look at. You're pissed off. You already know what coach gonna say because we did fight. We hung in there, so we're gonna hear all that. It's just more of the same, man. It's to the point where these type of things happen, throughout the season, but at this point right now, in such a pivotal game, man, you can't give away ones like this. And we pretty much had this game in the bag, man. Let them off the hook. It was 2 plays that stood out to me. Obviously, you heard Willie Green talk about one of them when they won the challenge. Did all that to win the challenge, and then they scored in like a 10th of a second right after we won the challenge. They just throw the ball in and score. This pivotal point in the game. You know what I'm saying? Those 2 points, you can't let them score that quick. Still get up, and it turns into the Jabari Smith shot at the end of the game. But the other play, man, was probably, 3 or 4 minutes in the game, B.I. walking the ball up lazily, as you would say, right? And Porter, not only does he steal the ball from him.
On phone and,
I said not only does Porter steal the ball from him. You can't hear me?
DC, we're going to have to get you to pop back in, bro. Yeah, log out, log back in, bro. You're going in and out on your analysis. So we're just going to have to keep pushing. We'll get you back in there. But family, this is a tough one right here, man, to be honest with you. Pelicans, man. Unfortunately, man, a lot of people upset about it, and rightfully so. This stinks, man. This stinks to high hell, man, to be honest with you. DC, pop back in, bro. We're going to get you back in there, man, with your service. You was going in and out. All right, let's get into the team stats, man. 114-112 Pelicans, man. They had this game in their hands and allow it to fall through. On the road to the Rockets, that's a tough one. 39 of 82 for 47.6%. From the field, they were 12 of 28 from downtown for 43%, 22 of 25 from the charity stripe. So they did a pretty good job from the charity stripe on the road. They shot a decent percentage from downtown, 43%, 47.6% from the field. Rockets 43 of 88 for almost 49%, 11 of 32. The 3-point percentage was 34.4, 17 of 24 for 71% by the Rockets. They had 52 rebounds against the Pelicans, 15 of which were offensive against the Pelicans 35. They had 20 assists. Well, 22-20 was the Pelicans there. They got that one. 8-9 advantage of the Rockets. 5-3 on the blocks. Pelicans single-digit turnovers, only 9 with 18 points off versus 13 turnovers by the Rockets with 22 points off. Fast break points advantage. Pelicans 26-19 points in the paint. 60-46, big advantage for the Rockets in the matchup. Pelicans led by as much as 16. Rockets came back and had as much as 8 points down the line. So on 14-112, DC, we seen a lot of really unbalanced stats in from this side of things. But yeah, you're working with something. You had something positive going. You kind of deviate away from it. And it just destroyed everything we had built, and a lot of the Rockets who kept fighting to get right back in that thing, man. What you got on the stats? All right, unmute yourself, bro.
You can hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I'm not coming in and out.
You sound good.
I mean, it's right there, man. Rebounds, bro. Caught up to us. You know, we got a lot of stats that look good. Rebounds and assists. Because we were up to 18 assists, I think, and that was in the third quarter. And we just got away from sharing the ball, man. Tried to take it home with riding the hot hand of BI. He was getting to the free throw line. And pretty much just all of those second chance opportunities we gave them, man. They had 15 offensive rebounds, and they out-rebounded us 52-35. So some of those were tough to get at, you know. Tip balls, bouncing off hands. But other ones, man, I mean, you can't keep saying that. There's no way they get 15 of them. And all of them was tough to get. All this intensity and us showing up and all that, it kind of still fell to the wayside a little bit on the boxing out and eliminating those second chance opportunities. When you look at it, one of the crucial plays we talk about winning that challenge is second chance opportunity, even though it wasn't a rebound, man. We got out hustled, you know, and outworked by this Houston Rockets team who wanted it more, right? Which is ironic because they're supposed to be tanking and we're supposed to be trying to get in the playoffs. So looking at these stats, you don't need to look no further than looking at the rebounds, honestly.
Yes, indeed, man. This is pathetic, man. Brother Aramis says, I think we have a cultural issue. Thank you, Brother Aramis.
Okay. What would the cultural issue be, Brother Aramis? Please enlighten us on what you think the issue is with the culture. Appreciate the 1999, brother.
Brother Thomas, shout out to you as well. He says, this is for you guys, fellas, because I can't with this team, man, not tonight. I can't. He should have took us home. He deserved to. Thank you, bro, for the $50.
Man, you absolutely right. Appreciate that. The 50 bones, B. Thomas. But JV was having probably his best game in months, man. In months. And we just refused to let him get all the glory, man. I don't get it. He was dominating the night when we played through. Every time we played through JV, we got up to 10, 12, 14 point leads. You know, we step away from him from a while, the lead shrinks. He's off the floor, you know, tonight, at least. When he was off the floor, we looked horrible, our second unit at times. And when JV was out there, he was playing great defensively and dominating them offensively. We just they decided he's not gonna close in the fourth quarter. I don't understand it.
Yeah, this is I don't know, man. It's to be honest with you, it's a comedy of errors that's going on with this team. And we talk about them having to understand that we have a dozen games left, fam. We have a dozen games left. The Pelicans are outside the playoffs right now, and losing to the Rockets, which is the worst team in the West, the second worst team in the entire NBA, even though they're playing free because they don't have nothing, they ain't playing for nothing. They could throw it all. There's no pressure on them. We have to understand that. And even though it's the Rockets, the Pelicans still have enough manpower to beat the Houston Rockets, even though right now we're on the losing side of it. But this is something that we should know as a team. Now, it's major problems going on here. To be honest with you. And this is like when I say if they lose these games, because all of these teams, the Rockets, and then you have San Antonio, and then you have Charlotte. These are lottery teams. These teams are not in the playoffs. These teams are not on or in your peer group, even though they beat the Celtics the other time. I get all that. But at the same time, you've seen that, and you should be prepared for whatever they're going to do. They shouldn't be able to come back in the game and beat you. And this is just, we have major issues occurring right now with this team, man. And this is spilling out outside because you can get this team got embarrassed not too long ago. They get beat by this team. Even though they didn't get blown out, this is embarrassing to lose to a lottery ass team like the Houston Rockets. In the portion of the schedule where it really counts, we have a dozen games left, and we are several games under 500 fighting and jostling for playoff spots. This can't go. So if I can't impress upon you that we need to start compounding wins right now, because our playoff lives are in jeopardy, what else can I do? What else can I give you? What can I say? Because Willie comes out in every damn press conference with this cool demeanor and all this kind of stuff. I talked to DC, called me today. He said, "Q, you telling me about what CJ McCollum was saying, and what I told you." D said, "We'll see." You got to show doing a lot of talking, and I'm sick of the goddamn talking. You have enough players to put games together, wins together, and how am I expecting you to beat the tougher teams? We still got the Denver Nuggets, we got the Clippers twice, we got Sacramento, we got all these teams.
Easy, maybe because we ain't gonna have no pressure to actually win. Maybe that'll get us a victory. When we got pressure to get one, we dropping the ball right now, man.
Brother Aramis says management is head of the culture. You pay the guys to play in and partake the culture, but if you sign people off of as good humans and not work ethic, it doesn't always work, which often leads to identity issues. Thank you once again, Brother Aramis. That was his response to the culture thing, DC, you told him about. Brother Thomas says, why Jackson Hayes getting DMPs?
I didn't understand that either, especially knowing Larry Nance isn't quite 100. He's only going to get about 8 minutes. But I don't know. I guess what he did wasn't good enough. Maybe he didn't have a strong showing in practice. In that long practice they had. Who knows, man?
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about the long practice, DC. You know what it translated into? A loss. So it's like we
only lost by 2 points this time.
Yeah, but you lost to the worst team in the West. You wasn't supposed to lose to this team. Like, this team had 17 wins coming in here.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to lose to the Rockets. You're not supposed to split with the Rockets. You're supposed to beat the Rockets. You're supposed to beat San Antonio, and you're supposed to beat Charlotte. Now what the Pelicans are facing, they're on the losing streak again. It's just amazing, man. Anyway, the individuals for the game: BI 31 points, 38 minutes. He had 4 boards and 6 assists to go along with a block. 9 of 20 from the field, 3 of 5 from downtown. Was 10 of 11 from the charity stripe. 22 from Big V in 34 minutes. He gave you 22 points and 17 rebounds with 4 blocks, DC, plus 15 tonight. 10 of 16. He's been playing pretty ugly, the last several games. One of the games was one of the most horrible games I ever seen Valanciunas play. But this one, he came out and gave a real solid effort. 22 and 17. CJ McCollum, in the third scoring role, if you want to call it that, 14 points in 39 minutes, 5 of 12 from the field, 3 of 6 from downtown, 14 points, 6 assists, 5 boards, plus 21 on the minus, plus 21 on the plus minus, 13 from Trey Murphy in 37 minutes. Only 11 shots, 4 of 11, 4 of 10 from downtown. 13 points, 4 boards, and a couple of assists, plus 19. Off the bench, 13 from Najee Marshall. He had in 19 minutes, 4 of 8 from the field. He finished with 13 points and a board and an assist. 8 from J. Rich in 26 minutes of action. Now 3 of 9 from the field, 2 of 4 from downtown. Larry Nance in 14 minutes still looked banged up. 2 points from him, a couple of assists, a steal, and a rebound for Larry Nance. No Jackson Hayes.
Yeah,
No.
we had no interior defense when Lance was out there.
So there you go. So no Jackson Hayes, no none of that. So and of course the 18 winning Houston Rocket Club put it together. 25 from Green, 20 from Porter, 17 from Sagoon, 14 from Kmart Jr., 12 off the bench from Tate. So in the Hustle Rockets were able to beat the Pelicans on the road to take them from them. Shout out to the fan with the super chats, man. I see y'all, bro. I appreciate everybody and just the regular commentary as well. Brother Thomas says, anybody know why BI went super early when we could have just ran the clock down to almost nothing, left or make them foul him by just holding on to the ball? It's just that's like simple things. Like I don't know, man. I just watched this team. Like when you see CJ McCollum, start, getting down there and start jacking up shots early. I'm like, dude, at least let these goddamn guys get in position to get a stick back or something before you just start hoisting away before we even getting in the set. Not saying that
he ain't do none of it tonight, man. CJ played a pretty clean game, even though he didn't give us a lot of production.
I'm speaking about the intelligence overall of the team, offensively and defensively. It's like we start these breakdowns. We can't put together full quarters of game. They get stupid in areas of the game, like crucial moments of the game. They get stupid. It's like they lose intelligence and then they lose heart. Like when they get behind, they get way behind and they don't have the fortitude to fight and stick back. You think if the Rockets had mimicked what the Pelicans did in prior matchups, we would have blown this team away. But they stood in there and just hang close enough until the Pelicans made enough mistakes to give them an opportunity to get in the game, and the Pelicans did that. So anyway, DC, go ahead. Who you got here on this individual, man, if anybody?
The only person I think is worth mentioning is Big V, man. He set the tone tonight, had a very good game. And if we continue to play the same way, what we were finding him down the stretch, I think things would have went a little different, man. BI obviously had it going, but I don't understand how Big V only gets 2 points in the fourth quarter. The way he was playing, only gets 1 shot attempt, 1 rebound. You know what I mean? Like, we got to keep him involved, man. Obviously, what they talked about in their long practices and all of this, a lot of it obviously revolved around utilizing Big V, and we did that well. And then we got tired, I'm guessing, in the fourth quarter, and we went for what we've repetitively been doing, creatures of habit, and we went back to that style of play, man, of taking those single shots down the stretch. I mean, I do want the ball in BI's hands, and he does take the last shot. I'm not complaining about that aspect of it, but just so much of the fourth quarter was kind of stagnant, and the ball wasn't really moving and flowing through Big V, letting him set up the offense the way it was, man. I don't know the issue or why that is. I kind of equate it to, I guess, a little bit of like what Aramis was saying when he talks about the culture, but not so much with management and all that. It's just, man, when you lose so many games that you were supposed to win by being just unintelligent or making mistakes or little miscues here, you create a pattern, man, and you create a habit. The Pelicans have created a habit of finding ways to lose games. It's almost like you were saying a little while ago, man, like when you get down on yourself and you don't have that passion or that fight to make that push to come back, it's because you don't believe you can. So just as a team, we're doing things that losing teams do. And they got to break that habit, man, because there was no reason for you to lose this game. More than looking at the stats for JV, everybody just look at the plus and minus column for our starters and tell me how many games you've seen what people are in the plus or minus that high and you start lineup and you lose. You know what I'm saying? We found a way to lose this game. We obviously wasn't supposed to lose it. Well, you could say that we were supposed to lose because we did the necessary things to lose. They won the game. You call it miracle shot or whatever. They shouldn't even had a chance if we would have played our cards right. And it started with that BI steal, and then we win that the overturning calls from the officials, and then give them 2 points after doing all of that. We just made so many mistakes down the stretch. It was almost like we just had our mind made up on losing this game psychologically, man, through repetitively doing the things we've done in the past that causes us to lose. So a lot of people you could look at and say they had decent performances, or we played pretty well for most of the game. And you can look at BI's points and JV. But at the end of the day, man, it all turned into an L. And at this point, who really cares about individual stats right now? You know, or who had the big game? Or we want W's. It don't matter who got what and how they got it, man. Win the damn game.
It's amazing, man. You look at this team, man. I don't have any words for them losing tonight to the Rockets, man. It's just unbelievable. Brother Remus says, which them transfers on to the court and work ethic. He says, which then transfers on the court for work ethic because your management isn't as invested into the team culture. Your coach fails, and when your coach fails, team fails. There's a lot of failing going on because it's translating in losses on the court. And a lot of these games, like Pelicans, is like some of those games you see the Pelicans just blown out. Like the one of the game, I forget which one of it had. A couple of games ago, they lost an entire half. They got destroyed for an entire half. Ultimately, was a blowout. And then prior matchups, we've seen the same thing when they'll lose a quarter and couldn't fight back. And then you have this game, which the Pelicans should have went away with this one. You know, they just kept making these really boneheaded decisions. It's just, just crazy, man. Absolute crazy. And it's a lot of failure going on. And you could try to sit up here and pretend to be calm. And Coach Willie, I mean, you're going to have to do something.
Nah. Coach Willie was supposed to lose his composure tonight, but
this was the game.
He's calm because, I mean, let's be honest, man. He made some mistakes too. Like my man said, why BI went early, right? Somebody asked that. Well, when BI went early and he missed it and we got the rebound, call a timeout. Why we don't call a timeout? You know what I'm saying? That's what I've seen other good coaches in the league do. They would call a timeout and try to set up a play, right? We did it your way. You thought you had it. Okay, we're gonna give you the shot, but we're gonna put you in a better position to score. Let's draw up a play. Did we not have a timeout? I mean, can we carry it over into the next game? You know, so coach made some mistakes too, man. So, I guess that's why maybe he's trying to stay calm and stay poised. We look at management failing and different things. I mean, we do still have to understand this is a second-year head coach, Willie Green. This is not his staff. Willie Green didn't pick the staff that we have. So a lot of things can be fixed, but we're still in a good position to still be able to make the damn playoffs right now, even after dropping the game right now. So with him blowing up or breaking his composure and being upset, would that be enough to spark this team? Or would that make them lose faith in what we already have going on? So I don't know. I guess only those people inside the locker room know that, right? But he had his fair share of mistakes that he made tonight too. Probably, in the fourth quarter, man. I don't know. Maybe BI was supposed to be the closer. Maybe that was the decision. But I think we should have kept riding JV, man.
Yeah, that was the obvious one right there, DC. He was on tonight, man. There was nothing else. He was rolling tonight. Of course, he was supposed to be the hand you supposed to take you right there. He was doing his thing. But let's move to the next. Okay, the next matchup, fam. We got the Rockets again on the road again. For the final matchup of the series against the worst team in the Western Conference that the Pelicans just lost to. They drop on the road again. Shitty road team. They drop again. They're 33-37 now. 11-24 on the road. James made a great point about not too many teams got road records that are positive. Maybe a handful of teams that got them. But right now, only thing I know is the Pelicans are currently on a 2-game losing streak. They face the Rockets again in the Toyota Center. So some of the family members are making mention in the chat. This could be a wake-up moment for the team.
No. Come on. We said that last game. Come on now, family. We said the Lakers ass whooping was going to be a wake-up game. How many wake-up moments are we going to have until we just stay asleep? I don't know about that. I think whatever waking up they've done, man, it's still about making adjustments and staying focused and staying the course, because they found something that worked this game. Obviously, what we were doing was working, but it's just at times during the game, because we don't normally do that, they went away from it, man. Just creatures of habit. They're trying to break bad habits, and I guess it's gonna take some games before it's consistent, if they can keep that style of play that we saw working up. I don't think it's no damn wake up moment again. You don't get a bigger wake up moment than the team that you're tied with, getting up by 40 on you, and you dropping that game at home. I don't think it's a bigger wake up moment than that.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell wrong with this team, to be quite honest, which is a comedy. One thing in specific that's wrong with them, I can't pinpoint. It's not just one thing that's wrong with them. It's a bunch of stuff that's wrong with this team. It's a bunch of stuff. They have intelligence issues at times. They don't, and that tends from the coaching on down on the court, not knowing when to make the adjustments, not knowing when to call timeouts, court awareness, guys knowing what to do, guys leaving guys open for shots, stuff like this. And Willie's saying that he's working and having these guys do this, that, and the third, but it's not translating consistently. Usually when you're working on something, you're really doing it the correct way. It's supposed to translate in success. Now you can have effort, you can do effort, but it can be poor effort. It's poor effort on it. And we have to stipulate that, DC. We have to stipulate that some of this stuff it's not turning out to be successful. This is unforgivable for these people to sit up here and lose to a team prior to them coming to this, had 17 stinking ass wins and the worst team in the West, and leave it to the gutless, ballless Pelicans to lay down on the road to the Houston Rockets. They had the game in their hand, didn't have enough urgency or intelligence to take the goddamn game and win it. And they got 12 games left in the year. You sitting up here outside the playoff race, entitled ass team, believing that it's just gonna roll off to them or whatever they thinking that I'm sitting up, we waiting for Zion or whatever it is. This is bull crap, man. This is bull. It's just terrible. It's no reason no reason at all. It's unconscionable for them to lose to this team. This should have been 2 wins back to back. And the fact that they beat the Celtics, you should have been on notice. How do you didn't let them know that they beat the Celtics and turn around and lose to them tonight? This is ridiculous, man. Anyway, Thomas says, question, fellas, smart IQ fundamental basketball play has been the team's consistent issue throughout the years, and coaches. What can do I don't know what we can do to fix the issue, because Willie Green's sitting up there and he keeps saying the same stuff over and over again. And I'm tired of it. I know they tired of it. I'm tired of hearing him say the same thing over and over again every goddamn press conference after a loss. I'm tired of hearing it. So I can imagine how they feel. And the only way to shut them up is to do what the hell you're supposed to do. We got more than enough firepower on this team, offensive and defensive wise, to be successful against the Houston flipping Rockets of all teams. We got 3 road games or 3 games. The next 3 games against the Rockets a bottom team in the West, and then we have 2 more lottery teams in the Spurs and the Charlotte Hornets that we have to play. If I'm expecting you can't beat the flipping Rockets, how you supposed to deal with the Clippers or the Nuggets or teams that's ahead of you in the playoff race? How you supposed to beat them? I'm speaking psychologically for a second. You can't play with the Rockets. How you expect to beat the Nuggets or Golden State or any of these other teams that's ahead of us in the schedule to get there? Something is
the Nuggets is food.
Something is astronomically wrong with this team. I'm telling y'all, man. Something's wrong when you lose to the Rockets and you know you in the throes of a playoff race. You're sitting outside of the playoff race. You need everything that you need to do to get wins against teams that are non-playoff teams. Something is seriously wrong with this team when you lose to the Rockets and you have the game and you know you're supposed to win this game. Something wrong. And it's like a clicking moment. When does it turn on where they say, you know what? Hey, you know what? We got 12 games left. We're trying to make the playoffs. No sense of urgency, no balls, no courage, no sense of urgency, low IQ. I don't know what to tell you about. It's a ton of errors that's wrong with this team. And then people keep saying, well, we figured it out. And what you told me about what CJ McCollum said, I said, just the hell with that. Show me. Because all I hear from the Pelicans is all talk. It's all talk. It's time for you guys to getting paid good money. Get up off your ass and play with some goddamn courage and some intelligence, man. All you have that's all you do all goddamn day is practice, lift weights and run goddamn plays. And then you get out there and stink to a 18-win team in the Houston Rockets, man. But guess what? The Pelicans got another chance against the same Rockets club in a couple of days. So here we go again. Looking for the Pelicans to do what they're supposed to do, which is beat teams that are lottery teams. And they have aspirations. I don't know if they have aspirations or not playing like this. They can't consistently do anything but lose consistently. That's all they can do. So now is the time, as I said before, when we were sitting at 20 games, 15 games, we now at 12 games now. And vastly, the clock is ticking for the Pelicans to get up off their ass and stop making excuses of injuries and all this bullshit. You got enough players to beat the goddamn Rockets. Miss me with that. Well, we don't have stars, and stars need to hell with that. What's wrong with your defense? What's wrong with the intelligence in key moments of the game? Where's your heart? Where's your determination? Where's your pride? That's the big one. Where's your damn pride? DC, let's talk about the rematch against the Rockets. They might get it. Then again, they might not. I don't know what to expect of this team. All I know is they consistently give me bullshit efforts every game, up and down basketball from the Pelicans in the most serious aspects of the game. What you got?
Man. Tough act to follow. You said all that. Did you read B. Thomas, Brother Thomas comment there first?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You dropped a sermon after that. But we know how to beat this team, man. Everybody in the chat already know how to beat this team. We all know. I mean, we've beaten the Rockets twice before this. You know, the Pelicans really looking at the Rockets at this point, I don't think even matters, man. It's a look in the mirror for this team. They gotta look at themselves. Like, what's wrong with us that we go away from stuff that works? Like, why do we do that? You know what I'm saying? Why are we so slow to make adjustments? The first lineup we threw out there as far as the second unit, it didn't work, man. Our second unit didn't look good at all, which is why you're like, okay, well, why didn't Jackson Hayes get any burn? You know what I'm saying? Why he didn't get a shot? You know, we didn't look great on the second unit. We need something. Sometimes, man, you just could see when they don't have a spark. The starters played, pretty well together. The starters, for the most part of the game until the fourth quarter, I'm like, okay, they got the message. But our second unit was a little lethargic, man. It didn't quite have it going. You could say, well, maybe Houston has a better second unit than us. And that's another thing too. We've been focused on the Pels, and we're talking about Houston losing, and their record. This is a young team, and they are talented. Houston Rockets do have a lot of talent, though. And you can't deny that. Haven't figured out how to win consistently yet, but
They
they
got
got guys that are talented. They're not they shouldn't be a better team than us. Their team isn't built or designed properly to be a sustainable winner. They don't even have a real point guard for crying out loud. But neither do we right now, right? So to be able to beat this Houston Rockets team, man, I mean, you have to go through JV and neutralize Segan. You know, you got Smith that obviously has gotten pretty hot, you know, in prior games. Didn't score a whole lot tonight. Got a little bit of that Trey Murphy thing going on. Well, he'll have a big game, and then he comes out tonight and give you like 11 points. You know, so you got to keep him under wraps. But the guy that really makes everything go is really Jalen Green, and then you're gonna sprinkle in some of Porter. Porter killed us tonight, man. Just very decisive with the way he played. Jalen Green, he played pretty good. There's a lot of holes in his game. Seen some mistakes that we were capitalizing on, couldn't close it out. You know, very foolish play for him to go in the lane, and when Bi blocked it, something like that could have cost him the game. Young guys still learning, you know. So if you're going at a young team, you know they got some talent, but they're still learning how to win, man. It should be a layup if you operate on the level that you're supposed to and play smart basketball. You know, we have to be fundamentally sound. Thought we did a good job by not turning the ball over. We have to keep that. We did a good job for most of the game making things tough on them. We have these long stretches where we can't score. So we need to continue to work on I guess other options to be able to create easy points. Draw up some better plays, or maybe utilize some of the plays that we have better. Because that continued to be the thing tonight. Pelicans played well, but the way that they played at times, man, you thought they might put up 130 points, and then you know they get to a spot where they can't score at all. Like you can't get out to a 26-12 lead and then in the quarter 31-26. Like you can't let a team have an 18.0 scoring run, man. 18-0 scoring run. And you don't figure out something to get you some points. Thought we got to the line, man. But you know that wasn't enough. Down the stretch, Bi did a good job putting pressure on the rim, but everybody else getting involved was kind of non-existent. You had Trey, maybe hit a three, and I think maybe CJ hit a three or something, and probably scraped up a couple other points in other ways, but we was living at that free throw line at the end of the game, which is, you know, a great thing to do, but we still got to figure out other ways to be more consistent offensively. And they need to continue with boxing out, rebounding, man. Just the thing that kills me about this Pels team, they're real good defensively. We're a really good defensive team, man. But we have so many possessions to where we play really good defense, and then we might knock the ball out of bounds off of us or something, and then we reset 5-8 seconds left on the shot clock, and we just give them some gimme points. It's like, man, y'all fought that hard that whole possession, and just gave up that like that. Which, you know, sometimes that happens, but it happens to us a lot. So a lot of things with this team is really like fundamental issues. You could say people say they lack heart, like you were saying, basketball IQ and intelligence. I would say to me it looks more like focus, getting tired and just repeating some of the errors that you've constantly made, because once you get tired, you just go back to what you know. Your brain, you ain't got enough oxygen to your brain to think or do things a little more intelligently, and you haven't practiced, I guess, things enough the proper way for them to be almost second nature. So that's why you hear Willie Green keep coming out and say, well, we got to keep working at it. We got to keep working at it. And he's going to have to step up and do that same thing, man. He's going to have to keep working at his adjustments, keep working at his rotations, trying to figure this thing out, because we're still in it. So I told Big Q in our production meeting, if we finish this 1-3 with the Charlotte Hornets, the Rockets, shit, if we finish 2-2 with the Rockets, the Hornets, and what other team we play? The Spurs. If we come out of that 2-2, man, it might be time to just pack up the season, unless Zion about to come back after that last game. Because what's the point? You know, if you do that, you can't beat these teams, man. You gonna make it to the play-in and lose? What's the point in that? But still got faith in my pals, man. Definitely pissing me off. But if they can finish this 3-1, we still right there. But all of that's just being wishful and a little hopeful. Right. I see you, melanin guy. Slim hopium. Slim. Very slim hopium. Can't OD on that shit. That gonna do no good.
Shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all being in this episode of the Pelican Post Game Report, even though it's a stinking loss to the Rockets. Shout out to the fam. We having issues with the chat, man. I can't highlight y'all stuff right now. I guess
it's glitching, man. I can't even see everybody's comments.
Yeah,
it freezes. I don't know what's going on in the chat right now.
Yeah, the software is bugging out tonight, man. It's probably tired of the Pelican stinking. Anyways. Lexus says, Q and DC, how do y'all feel about the so-called leaders on this team? I mean, at this point, do we have leadership out on the floor? What are the vets on the team doing? I don't know. That's for certain. And not the right way, not with something that's contributing to success overall as a team. I mean, you might have, and we talked about this too, DC. We made mention of the fact that, you know, you have some guys playing better than other guys, but you know, it wouldn't hurt the Pelicans to communicate better, you know, on the floor. Some guys might not know what to do. Some guys might not just be moment guys, you know, some guys, they understand all of the moving parts and components that's happening on the floor, what's going on at the time. Communication wouldn't hurt the Pelicans on the floor, especially if they, you know, we'd like to switch everything and do all this other madness. But my concept is switch everything that makes sense. That's you know what I'm saying? Don't, you know, and oftentimes we see, and we talked about this before, how the Pelicans would allow teams to switch them into mismatches and then they'll capitalize off the Pelicans. You know, we see that happen from game to game multiple times throughout the games. We hear Willie saying switch everything. He needs to add the extra little word on it too that says switch everything when it works, or when it works for you, not for them. I just think that, you know, it's not one pinpoint, one thing. I watched this Pelicans team, man, and, you know, I just think there's some real problems this team. And it's not nothing simple that they're not doing. There's something wrong here, something really wrong. When they can't beat the Rockets and they just off and on, they losing these games. And some of these teams don't even have their best players, and the Pelicans still losing to them. It don't make any sense, even when the opposite team have the number one focal point gone and the Pelicans can capitalize off it, they still lose the game, you know, and then they walk away, and it's just, which one of these guys have heart to push the team forward? Which guy is going to take it and don't get into the hero ball mentality? You know what I'm saying? Like, since he missing his damn, this guy, they don't want to do it, so I'm gonna just switch in the hero ball. You know, no, we got to win as a team, because you can't individually, you can't beat these teams by your goddamn self. You got to get the rest of these guys with you. You got to make them understand what they got to do. Coach Willie, everybody, they got to all be on the same page. Pelicans not on the same page. They're not. You know, and then you see a lot of slippage happening, and I'm tired of the slippage, man. We don't have time for all of this. We have 12 games left in the regular season. We've been through all of that stuff from last year coming into this year. We went through all of these practices. We listened to all these press conferences, these post press conferences about what they're going to do and all this, the strategy and the philosophy and all this crap. And then we sit up here looking at the team falling out of the contention. Even though they threw 2 and 3 and 4 games back of a team in the top 4 or 5 position, that might as well be 40 games the way the Pelicans are playing. Might as well be. They can't consistently do anything. It'd have been the perfect time for them to take full advantage of the opportunity they have right now. They got a Rocket team that's not going anywhere. They have more than enough manpower to beat that team. They should have beat them twice on a road. Even though they're a garbage road team, that should have been more of an incentive for them to lock in. We got the playoffs on the line. So, I mean, we talk about, I just see some dire stuff. We talking strategy. We talking philosophy. We talking about what they need to do. We can talk all of the goddamn schematics we want. It won't mean nothing if they don't play with no heart, no determination. That's the first thing. You got to play with heart.
I gotta stop you there for 1 second. You're right, brother. But we lost this game. I don't think we lost this game for lack of heart. We lost this game because we were stupid. Like, when you look at those possessions down the stretch, man, we had the game. Put it like this, if this was the Spurs with Coach Popovich, we win this game, bro.
I don't want to talk.
We had the ball, man. B.I. shoots the ball, right? We get a rebound back, and I believe it was wasn't it under 24 seconds? So it's under 24 seconds. You're going to force the other team to foul you, right? Call a timeout, draw up a play, run down as much time as possible, right? I'm just saying, like, that's what I've always seen done by good teams. Why did we go against the grain of doing it? We were up by 1 point. Maybe they didn't realize. I can give them a pass for this. Maybe they didn't realize.
You give them a pass for shit.
Wait, hold up. Maybe they didn't realize when Jalen Green shot that 2-pointer. They didn't realize that it wasn't a 3-pointer. They thought it was a 3-pointer. And they didn't realize they took 1 point off because stuff like that happened. Maybe they said, still stupid, still unintelligent, right? Maybe they didn't realize that they had the lead with 19, 20-something seconds left. Maybe they didn't realize that. Because if you up by 1, man, you shoot the first one, okay, because, with the shot clock coming up all 8, you had to take that other shot. Could have ran some more time. He's going to have to take it, right? We got the rebound. Man. Call a timeout or don't call a timeout and force them to foul you. What are they going to do? Just let the clock run out? They're going to foul you, right? What are they going to do? But, nah, we ain't do that. So it's like, we panicked, bro. We collapsed again. And they got to break the cycle, man. And I think it starts with obviously the players, but coaching, because
man,
where's the timeout?
Man, listen, man. I don't want to hear no talking about. I just want. It's time for. It's put up a shut up time, man. It's put up a shut up time. This is the remaining schedule on the screen here, family. What we got left on the season, regular season. This is what we got. Let me back it out a little again so you can see there you go. See the dates. This is what we got. This is what we got left. For the remaining season, the Rockets match up on Sunday afternoon, 6 p.m. And then we have San Antonio, who currently on a losing streak. We have the Charlotte Hornets at home for March the 21st and the 23rd. Next Saturday, we start a four-game road trip headed west, starting with the Clippers. And these are all the late games now. All these are late games. The Clippers game is 9:30 on Saturday. Not this Saturday, next Saturday. Then the 27th, which is the Monday, they have Portland, 9:00 game. The next day, they got Golden State, so they got a back-to-back matchup. They got Portland at 9, and then they travel to Golden State to take on the Warriors at 9. And then Thursday, a couple days later, the 30th, they go to Denver to take the Nuggets on, the Chicken McNuggets. So that's 9 p.m. Then they start off April Fool's Day. They're back at Smoothie King Center against the Clippers. Sacramento visits on the 4th, which will be a couple days later. The next day after the Sacramento matchup, they have the Memphis team coming in, the Grizzlies coming in. So he's got a back-to-back, one against Sacramento, once again Memphis, and then 2 days later, they play against a upstart New York team that's playing pretty good right now. And then they close out the season, the regular season that is, Sunday, April the 19th at Minnesota. So 12 games overall for the Pelicans remaining. And there's a lot of teams. Pelicans still control their own destiny. Do they realize that? They do. I mean, ultimately, somewhere along the line, later on in the regular season, you do gain Jose Alvarado back. Hopefully, they allow Larry Nance to rest a little bit more. They get him back. And then ultimately, you'll get Zion somewhere along the line before the regular season ends. So, at one point, do the Pelicans get serious and turn it on, man? At what point? Standings right here of the Western Conference as it stands right here. Nuggets on top, Kings, Grizzlies, Suns, Clippers, Warriors 1 through 6, 7 through 10, Mavericks, T-Wolves, Lakers, Thunder. Pelicans are 12th in the West at 33 and 37, a 3-7 of the last 10 games. Just pathetic. Currently on a 2-game losing streak, and they're half a game behind the Utah Jazz, who are at 11. 3 games gets you to 36 and 37, and it helps propel you back inside of the 7 through 10 spot, but it won't be easy. So whatever philosophies that the Pelicans have to lock in, whatever they got to do, they better do it right now. They better do it right now, because now is the time. Now is the time. It's 3-7 over the last 10. Go ahead and say with your last shots, family, DC. We have so many software issues tonight, family. I can't even see most of your commentaries. I apologize. We're going to have to, more than likely, we're going to come back on the Sunday matchup, and we'll open up the chat for calls, and we'll get your commentary on the next Houston Rockets matchup, which will be Sunday night. So please join us then, and we'll open up the phone lines. It won't be all night, but we'll open up the phone lines for the family members to chime in. So DC, go ahead and give your last commentaries, bro, on this matchup, because I'm tired of hearing about it.
That is my last commentary, bro. That I'm tired of hearing about it, because I feel the same exact way you do. We get a repeat of this Sunday. We're gonna be right here. You see how things pan out with the Lakers and Dallas and all these other teams, and the way things are going, though, man, it's like you got so many teams right now in the West, at least in this playing slot where we're at. Well, you're just trying to find out who really wants it, bro. The Lakers also came and laid an egg against the Rockets. Rockets did beat the Celtics, so this is a young team that for whatever reason they decided to show up and play at this part of the season, and they're showing you they're able to beat other teams that are I guess on a higher caliber, a higher level than them. So we should have been more than prepared for them tonight, and we go in there and fall victim too. So we got 33 wins on the season, 37 losses. Only Portland is, the only ones up under us that really could have a possible legitimate shot. And you're still right there with the Jazz, OKC, the Lakers, the Minnesotas, Dallas, and all of them, possibly even the Warriors. But if we can't figure it out, man, none of that shit don't matter. I ain't want to see these standings no more right now. Next time we do a show, we don't even need to worry about the standings yet. We don't need to worry about the standings till the Spurs game, man, because none of this don't matter. We got more losses than everybody right now, and that ain't gonna change for at least a couple of games. And everything gotta go our way, so it don't even make sense to look at them. We 12th, and we gonna stay 12th for at least the next 3 to 4 days. So it is what it is, man. Hoping Zion come back and all that shit ain't gonna do nothing either, because if they can't pick up the slack and get it together, like, why would Zion come back? And we going on this West road trip after the East. Well, would have been 4 games that was supposed to be, kind of easy for us, or the easy part of this easy schedule we supposed to have, right? But you're going on the West, as you can see right here, going into LA to play the Clippers at 9:30. You know how we just love those night games, right? You're going into Portland at 9 p.m. You should at least get that one. You're going to the Warriors at 9 and Denver at 9. Then you finally return home to kind of finish out most of the season, which possibly by that point you could have a Zion back if you made it through this stretch with a worthy record. Because if they just drop the ball with that, what's the point in Zion coming back? It makes no sense. So I'm sick of it, bro. I know y'all sick of having y'all heart broke, being disappointed and let down by the Pelicans. But there's a chance that we could win or be let down again on Sunday. So until then, we can all just be sick of this shit together till we get over it, man. But until they can figure out a way to stop making these boneheaded mistakes, man, and just doing silly shit basketball wise, going against what's working for you, this where we're gonna be at, man. We got to put together a string of wins, and the only way we can do that is if we play sound, fundamental, intelligent basketball. So we'll see.
All right, fam. So with that being said, please feel free to hit the like button if you hadn't hit it. Hit the like button. Please feel free to share the show's links on your social media feed. It helps out the stream. And check out the Pro Shop links in the description section below. It helps out with the merch. Shout out to our Super Chat and Cash App family. Appreciate y'all contributions to the stream. We will return Sunday afternoon after the Pelican matchup to recap it. The second matchup road trip against the Houston Rockets. We'll be there. Please feel free to be looking out for the live scoreboard followed by the recap show. So with that being said, we're going to get out on that. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all, and go Pels.
Media Network for all things Pelicans.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. Check out
out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember,